Okay, I'm going to do a warm-up, which starts with alignment of the hips and shoulders, and then we're going to work on our upper back. Okay, so standing at the back of your mat, or anywhere on your mat really, I want to start with just shoulder shrugs. So just raise your shoulders up and release them, and raise them up and release them. And again, we're going to start with our alignment and our breathing while we're doing this. So keep your feet are hip distance apart. Your knees are just slightly bent so that you have a sense of lightness. You don't want to hyperextend them so that they kick your lower back out. So knees floating above your ankles, hips floating above your knees, and then your shoulders, again, directly above your hips, and your head. Again, if you turn sideways, you should be able to, if you have a mirror at the side, see yourself as a nice straight line all the way down the back. You can think of yourself as leaning, or you can even try it, leaning against a wall behind you. So nice, and you should touch with your bottom, your back of your head, and your ankles, or your heels at the back. So from there, I just want you to raise one arm up and just lean down to the side. Again, we're going to stretch all this side. And we're just trying to get some flexibility in the back before we start. So it's always important to do a warm-up before you begin, raising your arm up and stretching down to the side and up and down. And again, we're going to move on the out breath. So breathing out, breath in when you're up there, and then stretch. It's always good to repeat an exercise because your body just gets used to it. After the first time, it takes a little bit of adjustment. So arm up on the out breath, and then stretch. And back to the center, and down. Great. Just double check that your alignment. Put your hands on your hip bones and just tilt your pelvis forward so that your bum is sticking out. And then come back to the center and then turn it the other way so that your hip bones are starting to look towards the sky. They might not make it all the way. But again, doing this from the side sometimes you can see better. So you turn your hips one way and then back to the center and then in the opposite direction. And again, we want to be nice and centered in the middle there. And I just want you to do for the last exercise of this warm-up, just interlace your fingers and stretch forward. Okay, so drop your head and stretch your arms forward. So you're really pulling your shoulder blades apart, but you're not raising your shoulders up, you're just bringing them down and separating them. This is really good if you sit at a desk for long periods of time. And then release, and then we're going to reverse that. So interlace your fingers at the back and stretch back. And take a big breath there. And again, we're stretching all across the top of your shoulders. And then raise up. And straight up. And again, one nice straight line from the top of your fingertips all the way down to the floor. Then we're going to repeat that, going forward. And then going back. And then all the way up. And release. We'll do one more exercise just to loosen up the top of the back. It's a roll down, but only until as far as you can go without shifting your hips. In a full roll down, you're going to bend at the hips. With this one, I just want you to come down as far as you can go. And then really relax your upper back in that position. And then restack so that you go back up to a nice straight position. And again, breathe in, breathe out, and coming down, stretching the upper back. Coming up, and realignment. And all the time you're supposed to be thinking about lifting your pelvic floor and tucking in your transversus abdominis muscles. So if you have your fingers just on your hips, you move them forward a bit and cough, you can feel those muscles tighten. So we'll just do one last time. Roll down. And just stretch that upper part of your back. And just hang there for a big breath in, breath out, and come all the way up. Great. So that's your warm up, and you're ready to start some of the main exercises now.